Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, this is TBC News, our top stories. EAC endorses Odinga's AU Commission chairmanship bid.
He is well versed with the development concerns of our continent.
Ndugulile wins WHO post. Good evening, I am Teddy Mparinyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. President of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, has earlier expressed Tanzania's strong support for the candidacy of the Kenyan retired Prime Minister Raila Odinga for the African Union Commission chairmanship. Here are more details.
President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan made the endorsement during her visit to the Kenyan State House in Nairobi today, praising Odinga as a Pan-Africanist and dedicated leader during the event that was also attended by the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, President of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, Prime Minister of Burundi, Gervais Ndirakobuka, and other leaders.
He has maintained close relations with successive generations in Tanzanian leaders, as well as with many African leaders and partners who hold him in high esteem. He is well versed with the development concerns of our continent. It is based on his breadth of experience that he was charged with expediting Africa's integration through infrastructure development.
On the other hand, the Kenyan President William Ruto has expressed his support for Raila Odinga's candidacy for AU chairmanship, praising him for his reputation as a zealous Pan-African who has consistently demonstrated a strong faith in Africa's possibilities, while the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, and the President of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, expressed optimism under his expected chairmanship.
I also, once upon a time, supported Raila Odinga. And I got myself into a lot of trouble. Almost similar trouble like yours, only that you were prosecuted in a Nigerian court. I was prosecuted in a foreign court. And that you were jailed and I escaped. That's the only difference. But the same way you subsequently became president, I also subsequently became president. So there is something there.
It is the one which can enable us to negotiate together, to put pressure on those other groups, Wazungu, Wahindi, wa China, wa America, to negotiate with them.
To become the chairperson of the African Union, I told him, my friend, I have no problem with you, but you know that we are blocs. I belong to bloc of East Africa.
The AUC chairperson position is set to become vacant next year, with the incumbent Chad's Musa Faki concluding his two-term tenure.
To understand further on the 5th Commission Chair election expected to be held in February 2025, we are joined with Eric Sambu, who is an analyst on diplomacy matters. Sambu, could you please explain to us the qualities that make Raila Odinga stand out as the potential next chairperson of the Commission, and what areas will need his immediate attention if he wins the 2025 AUC election?
Now, looking at Raila Odinga, he has been the Prime Minister for the Republic of Kenya And for AUC chairmanship, you must have held either a presidential role or a prime minister role or vice. If you look at the candidates which are also competing for this, looking at Mohamed Yusuf, even though he has a very good credentials as a multilingual person, speaking French, English, and also Arabic, which are all official languages of AUC, he is a foreign minister. But also Guyane of Mauritius and also Richard of Madagascar, they are also contenders in this, but they are all foreign ministers. So Raila Odinga stands a very good chance having been prime minister of one of the member states of AU. Now, the priority areas for Raila Odinga, in his own words when he was launching this bid, first of all, is to continue with the infrastructural development of Africa. Africa, we cannot access, each other because of the road networks that is connecting these nations. It is undeveloped. But that is in terms of only roads, but also air, transportation. It's not developed. Only a few airlines actually, connecting African states. And it is weird that, you have to go several states away to connect to a nearby state. So if we open also the air space, then that could also be good. Coupled with that also, the visas that you require to travel in the entire Africa is about 35. And in some cases, actually, you step out of Africa to come. Like if you start in Tanzania, now you want to travel to Morocco, you better travel first of all out either to Middle East or to Europe, and then before you can connect. If African space is opened also with free travel of not requiring visas, that will improve. He has also mentioned about food security, but also peace and security for a number of nations, which it is ailing quite a number of nations, and self-dependence instead of relying on the Western world. He believes that we have the resources to take care of our own needs, because raw materials are leaving Africa, and instead of developing Africa.
That was Eric Sambu, who is an analyst on diplomacy, speaking on Raila Odinga's candidacy for the AUC chairmanship. And on to the next story. Tanzanian Dr. Faustin Ndugulile has won his candidacy for the World Health Organization Regional Director for Africa job. Dr. Ndugulile is an experienced health professional who currently serves as a member of parliament for the Kigamboni constituency. Many observers regard him as a forward-thinking individual who stands by medical ethics and profession. He was competing with 3 candidates from Senegal, Rwanda, and Niger, and is expected to carry out his 8 strategic priorities. This includes universal health coverage, maternal and health, non-communicable diseases, primary health care, climate resilience, and sustainable health systems, health security, innovation and research, and partnership and collaboration. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has recently been appointed as the chairperson of the Southern Africa Development Community Troika organ on politics, defense, and security. The appointment was done during the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government held in Harare, Zimbabwe. The organ is managed on a Troika basis and is responsible for promoting peace and security in the SADC region. It is mandated to steer and provide member states with direction regarding matters that threaten peace, security, and stability in the region. To understand the work ahead for the organ under President Samia, TBC News has spoken to Director Department of Regional Cooperation in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Talha Mohamed Waziri, and here she starts by elaborating the key roles of the organ.
This is the first time ever that a female becomes the leader of this important institution, and that is something that we are very proud of as a country, and we are ready to take the role as it comes. And as you are aware, it has so many responsibilities, and some of the responsibility mainly to safeguard peace and security within the region, to ensure that we promote political cooperation among member states, and also to resolve and contain inter- and intrastate conflicts within the region. Those are some of the main roles of the organ.
Furthermore, the director says since its inception, the organ has been able to manage peace in some of the key areas in Africa, and Tanzania, being exemplary on the areas of defense and peace, is expected to be the pioneer in Africa's peace and security endeavors.
Mainly its success, just as the reason for its establishment is just for promotion of peace and security. And as you are aware, our region, meaning the SADC region, is one of the most safe region in the continent. It has been mainly stable for the past decades or so, but we have some few pockets of political challenges and security challenges in some of our member states, but generally speaking, the security situation is stable, and the member states are jointly collaborating to ensure that the security and political situation, as well as peace and stability, is strengthened.
Many expect President Samia's appointment will inspire other women in the region and advance gender equity, while underscoring the importance of peace and security for economic growth and trade within the SADC region. Treasury Registrar Nehemiah Mchechu has called on the public institutions in the country to invest in other countries, as the move is key to stimulate the economy. Mchechu made the call while briefing journalists on the upcoming meeting involving board chairmen and executives of the heads of public institutions in the country, elaborating further that not all institutions should invest abroad, but there should be institutions that will set an example. Here's a report by Sechelela Kongola, read by Faida Ngaga.
Preparations for the upcoming meeting of board chairmen and the chief executives of public institutions, which is expected to be officiated by President Samia Suluhu Hassan in Arusha. Treasury Registrar Nehemiah Mchechu is meeting with journalists and highlighting the achievements of the previous meeting, urging the public institutions to invest in other countries.
Not all institutions have to go abroad. They can go, a few of them are the leading institutions, and these others continue to work in collaboration with those outside the country.
Mchechu asserts on some of the key law amendments that target to measure the performance of the chief executives of the public institutions.
We have made laws and changes. We are currently making assessment of work efficiency, where every public institution has to have. The first criteria we have is to see how you contribute to the profits or how well you use the resources you have, either to generate profits or to reduce the dependence on the government.
The Director General of the Arusha International Conference Center, AICC, Christina Wakatobe, says the meeting will shape public and private institution services and stir development.
We have taken this meeting very seriously because these leaders who are coming are heads of institutions and they are decision makers.
Entrepreneurs in the region vow to maximize on the conference to boost their businesses and revenue.
We are so happy to receive our guests, and we would love for them to see the beautiful cultural things which are handmade and they present Tanzania. We are ready to receive our guests, and we have a lot of things to showcase and sell them. Also, it's a great opportunity as Tanzanian women to show them what we can do with our small industries.
The meeting will focus on strategies to reinforce public institutions and investments outside of the country.
The Integrated Center for Family Matters in Temeke has been praised for taking steps in administering justice and providing better services to citizens, including facilitating equal and timely justice for all, particularly in family cases, and to enhance gender justice since it was established in 2021. Presenting a 3-year operation-based report on the center in Dar es Salaam, Judge of the High Court of Tanzania, Gladys Brathi, says that about 526,262 cases have been registered and decided up to date.
This number reflects not only the increase of cases filed, but also our dedication to timely and effective justice. Our court has also been at the forefront of integrating services provided by holistic approach by collaborating with key stakeholders such as Women Legal Aid Center, WILAC, Legal and Human Rights Center, WILDAF, the Gender Desk, BAKWATA, and the Social Welfare Offices.
She elaborates that the current average number of cases currently served at the center is from 800 to 1,000 per day, compared to 400 to 500 per day in 2021.
We've been faced with a few challenges, and these include lack of public awareness. There is a widespread lack of education regarding probate matters, leading to increased conflict and delays in case resolution. Many stakeholders are not fully aware of our legal processes, which contributes to these delays.
Many of the citizens receiving the services at the center have praised the center for bringing justice within the grasp of ordinary men and women in Tanzania.
Has done it so wonderfully that these services are being provided at one-stop center, and the services are being rendered on time with good services, and everything is well organized.
Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Hassan Abbasi, says Tanzania is expecting to receive a significant number of tourists from Brazil and is looking forward to cultural exchange opportunities. He made the remark in Dar es Salaam following his meeting with key tourism operators from Brazil who are visiting the country for a familiarization tour before embarking on bringing tourists from Brazil.
Through our tourism board, the ministry and institution, and in collaboration with our embassy in Brazil, we have brought these visitors. These are very prominent individuals in the tourism sector, including owners of a major tourism company in Brazil, and as well as companies that act as an agent for bringing tourists to Tanzania, and among them are also major media outlets from Brazil. This is a result of the effort by our Honorable President Samia Suluhu and our ambassador to Brazil. These visitors have come to Tanzania for what is called familiarization tour. In tourism sector, before bringing tourists to enjoy and explore our country, first they prefer to see our country by themselves. The company owners want to understand the reality of the ground before they start bringing tourists. So this is a part of the familiarization tour. They come to learn first before they start bringing a flood of tourists.
What we are doing here is bringing a delegation of the top level media from Brazil. We are going to achieve more than 8 million people in such that we are doing with the media. And also we bring some key operators from the tourism, exactly to promote the country, power of the culture in the business balance of a country. Cultural thing that we have to exchange for sure is the products that we have here. Coffee, nuts, the tea, and all of these beautiful things. You also have the cognac and the wines.
The familiarization tour will include exploring various safari destinations in the country, including Tarangire, Serengeti, and several Tanzanian cultural centers. The Commission of Mediation and Arbitration, CMA, has officially launched the use of the online case management system. The launch is expected to speed up the Commission's operations, making the services accessible anywhere throughout the country. Emmanuel Samuel was there during the launch and has prepared the following report.
Speaking in Dar es Salaam, the director of the Commission of Mediation and Arbitration, CMA, Usekelege Mpula, says the system will enable any citizen to register disputes wherever they are.
And this online case management system is intended for the users, for the stakeholders, for the employers and employees to get access to the CMA services by filing the labor disputes without any delay. And of course, even determination of the cases themselves will be done online.
Furthermore, the CMA director insists that the system was already in place for the proper implementation of the system, while the representative of the Tanganyika Lawyers Association, TLS, praises the step that will solve many pending and new legal matters on time.
As CMA, as an institution, we are determined to deal with labor disputes to make sure our stakeholders, including the investors, be it foreign or local, they get our services, and of course promptly and timely. That is what is all about this system and the advantages of the system.
This is speed tracking of the online case management system. most of Tanzanians will enjoy justice being expeditiously attained, and they will get what is their right on time.
Deputy Minister, Prime Minister Office, Labour, Youth, Employment and Persons with Disability, Patrobas Katambi, says the president has given 2.1 billion shillings to make it easier for workers to get their rights, but she also continued to make improvements in other areas, not only for CMA.
Ametoa bilioni 2.1 kwa ajili ya mifumo.
The president has given 2.1 billion shillings to make it easier for workers to get their rights, but she also continued to make improvements in other areas, not only for CMA. Having the case management tool in the country will minimize time for all practitioners who are looking for the rights of the citizens in the court. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
The Assistant Director of Health Education and Promotion Section, Dr. Norman Jonas Kiala, says the government of Tanzania will continue to create conducive environment for children, especially in matters related to health and nutrition. He made the assurance during the opening of the sessions on 5-year strategic plan on revenue and development of the second National School Health and Nutrition earlier today in Morogoro.
One of the key issues we are dealing with, especially in primary school, that is stunting, so that we have a special program. We thank our partners, school feeding programs, which is a key strategic intervention intended to eradicate stunting in Tanzania.
On the other hand, the UNESCO National Program Specialist on Education for Health and Well-being, Mattis Faustin, explains his expectations of the sessions, while who is the coordinator of the National Program for Health and Nutrition in School, Beauty Mwambe Bule, urges members of the community to play their part in ensuring the safety of the children at school.
We are sure that the government will intensify its effort to support young learners' health and nutrition, and it will call also other partners to join hands and support the government initiative and to ensure that our schools are safe, inclusive, and healthier.
Parents and community in general, we should take our role and play our role effectively to have a discussion with these girls and boys, especially those who are facing in the adolescent age.
The 5-day workshop will include various discussions on nutrition and health and will be the part of the development of the second 5-year strategic plan on national school health and nutrition. The acting manager of the Eastern Zone of Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, TBC, Louisa Victor, calls on the communities to cultivate tree planting culture as part of conserving the environment as well as dealing with the challenges of the climate change. She made the call during TBC's tree planting campaign earlier today in the Morogoro region. Peter Mganga has the following report.
Environmental conservation is a key to conserve natural resources and the existing natural environment. Understanding this, TBC unites with Morogoro residents for a tree planting campaign. Here, the acting manager of the TBC Eastern Zone, Louisa Victor, explains the significance of the campaign to the region.
We
believe that this school will take care of these trees by making sure that these trees are watered in the morning and evenings. TBC will continue to run this campaign for the wider interest of the nation.
On the other hand, the headmistress of Mafiga B Primary School, Anangoda, whose school is one of the beneficiaries, praises the contribution of TBC towards conservation of the environment in the Morogoro region.
We really appreciate the effort of TBC for continuing to be part of this campaign, and we promise that we will take care of these trees.
Some of the young students from the region explained the importance of the environmental conservation while promising to conceive what has been done today.
This campaign will help us Mafiga pupils.
On 27th every month, Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation joining hands together with different stakeholders across Tanzania's region so that to plant these trees
This is one among the campaign which has been originated from Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation. And today here in Morogoro, most of the children and teachers from Mafiga B Primary School joining hands together to plant almost 50 trees here in Morogoro. I'm Peter Mganga, TBC News, Morogoro.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news.
Three people have died and nearly 5 million are stranded by floods caused by torrential rains in the southeast of Bangladesh. Reports say that people living in remote areas are in need of food, clean water and medicines following the destruction of infrastructures. More than 300,000 affected by floods were taken to emergency shelters, which are said to be overwhelmed by the influx of displaced people who have left everything behind. The lack of sufficient number of boats is making the task of delivering relief to people in remote villages very challenging. And the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo said the schedule for vaccinations campaign will be rolled out this week. Vaccines have been reported to have arrived in the capital, Kinshasa, but the head of the DRC response team said there are still remaining processes before vaccinations begin. More than 500 deaths of the disease and 16,000 cases have been recorded in the country. The World Health Organization, WHO, has urged the vaccine manufacturers to speed up its production to prevent further transmission of the disease.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, Azam FC head coach Bruno Ferri says his players should refocus on the Tanzania Premier League matches, now following their elimination from the CAF Champions League. Coach Ferri believes that players are ready to face their opening match of Tanzania Premier League against JKT Tanzania, while JKT coach Hamad Ali says they will continue Azam FC to the local competition with a heavy defeat.
Game like Saturday, the first thing you have to do, it's if I can say, it's to clean the head, you understand, because of course everybody is disappointed. Players, staff members, leaders, fans, we know that everybody is disappointed, it's totally normal. So now it's our responsibility to win tomorrow. And but the problem will be with which kind of mindset we will start the game.
Young Africans Information and Communication Manager Ali Kamwe says the club has already sorted out the working permit of two international players, Jean Baleke and Shadrack Boka, and probably they will feature in the opening of the Tanzania Premier League match against Kagera Sugar on Friday. Kamwe told TBC News that Yanga is ready to defend their Tanzania Premier League title by beating Kagera Sugar, and the two players Baleke and Boka will be part of the mission.
Our first match in the league, and is crucial for Young African and important for Tanzanian Premier League because the defending champions are playing. We believe that Tanzanians, East and Central Africans, and the entire continent of Africa are eager to experience the excitement of the Premier League, and you can save that excitement when you watch Young Africans match.
That is sports news. And now, before we conclude the bulletin for tonight, let us take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello dear viewers and welcome for the next 24 weather forecast from the Meteorological Authority. My name is Rebecca William. Starting with windy patterns, and wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 km per hour for Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika together with Lake Nyasa, at the speed of 30 km per hour for the entire coast. And the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. And the Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of large waves reaching 2 meters, especially over the entire coast. So precautive measures should be taken. And for tonight, to expect the northern coast, including Morogoro, expected features partly cloud condition, light rain showers over a few areas. And cool temperatures are still expected over southwestern Highland, with lowest minimum temperature of 9 at Njombe region. And for tomorrow, we expect Kagera together with Mara region, temperatures partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. While for the northern coast, including Morogoro, expect to feature partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. While for the high ground of Arusha and Kilimanjaro, together with Linda and Mtwara region, expect to feature partly cloud condition, light rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. While for the rest part of the country, expect to feature partly cloud condition and sun periods. Let us see next 4 days forecast from different cities and regions. Dar es Salaam, minimum temperature is 20 degrees. Dodoma sun period is expected for the entire forecasting period, and minimum temperature is 15 degrees. Mbeya sun period is expected for the entire forecasting period, and minimum temperature is 11 degrees. Mwanza sun period is expected for the entire forecasting period, and minimum temperature is 14 degrees. Kilimanjaro sun period is expected for the entire forecasting period, and minimum temperature is 18 degrees. Morogoro sun period is expected for the entire forecasting period, and minimum temperature is 16 degrees. Arusha sun period is expected for the entire forecasting period, and minimum temperature is 14 degrees. From the Meteorological Authority, thank you and have a good night.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mfarinyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.